This started as an idea for a short written post for my rheumatoid arthritis Facebook group, but it took on a life of its own. So excuse me for reading it out and rustling papers and whatever. This is intended as a comprehensive video on what we're adapted to eat as humans, with lots of links to further research that you can send to friends and family. So please do share it widely. It's apt that I'm making this video on April Fool's Day, as we've been deeply fooled. It's vital we understand that now and stop arguing about it, or while we're distracted, the powers that shouldn't be will take our ancestral diet from us, making it illegal by faking animal pandemics, blaming natural seasonal respiratory detoxes on bat soup, and spreading misinformation that our ancestral diet causes heart disease and cancer, changes the climate via cow farts and burps, pushing vegan propaganda, and touting as gospel the utterly corrupt, useless epidemiological diet studies sponsored by big food and big pharma. I'm constantly asked whether the carnivore diet is good for this or good for that. Now, this meme from Dr. Ken Berry sums up the absurdity of that nicely. There's a saying that humans are the only species intelligent enough to make their own food and stupid enough to eat it. Everyone laughs at that, probably imagining Mars bars and donuts, but it goes way beyond that. Almost everything we eat is man-made in some way. The whole grains and seed oils that the WHO, etc., pushes as heart healthy are tremendously toxic. We're not adapted to grains and have only farmed them for a short part of our history, with devastating health consequences, as can be seen in skeletal remains since we ate them. And seed oils were invented as machine lubricants and soap-making additives. Yum. How about all that healthy fruit and veg? Absolutely none of the fruit and veg you buy in shops exists in the wild at all. The fruit is crossbred for size, shape, and high fructose content and eaten out of season. And any leafy green veg is very toxic. Did you know, for example, an organic Brussels sprout has 136 known carcinogens, and the least toxic veg has about 60? It's too much to go into here, the subject of plant toxins, but please see the Dr. Anthony Chaffee video linked below for a deep dive into that. You'll be amazed. But what does that leave for us to eat? What is our species-specific diet? Meat. Meat. There are zero toxins in meat, absolutely none. We are facultative carnivores. Please understand that. This means that unlike an obligate carnivore like a lion, we can survive for short periods on plants, but they're not optimal. None of them. For a deeper dive on that, see the Barry Groves video I linked to below. Every human needs to watch that. Also see the study by Miki Ben Dor that shows that we ate almost exclusively meat for millions of years. This is provable by bone isotope records. I'll link that below too. We have a gut rather like a hyena, more acidic even than a lion. And we've had tools and weapons for millennia to kill and process animals. Just look at a cave painting. Hunters and animals. One bloke, one spear, one mammoth or auroch, no broccoli. That trumps the vegan argument that we don't have the correct teeth. At least we have teeth when we eat meat. Vegans often lose theirs. There was no dental decay among the Inuit when on their ancestral fully carnivore diet. They didn't have any of our chronic diseases either, and neither did the Sami or the Maasai, who were also fully or largely carnivorous. There have been absolutely no vegan or vegetarian cultures in history, none. So why are we told to eat so many recently invented fruit and veg? Why does our health depend on those when we were healthy for millennia without them? Ancient foods do not cause modern diseases. Presuming we've established that we are actually facultative carnivores now, it should be a no-brainer that this is the basis of our health. Yet still, we disagree, about which diet heals. Does a carnivore diet heal everything immediately? No, but this is not the fault of the diet. If we've messed up our guts and immune systems with years of plant abuse, we can't expect to unwind it overnight. although many have spectacular success very fast. Some, though, might initially have electrolyte imbalances as the kidneys sort themselves out. Some might have oxalate dumping as the body gets rid of those toxins collected from plants over the years. Those can be manifest in many ways: kidney stones, rashes, all kinds of things, even in the eyes. And this can go on for some time. Some might have difficulty digesting fats because their livers and gallbladders have been compromised. And some might have certain nutritional deficiencies that need temporary supplementation to correct. Some whose guts are very leaky from the onslaught of toxins and gut-ripping fiber, which we also have no need for, might have to go very high fat for a long time, eating only good ruminant animal meat and not even be able to tolerate pork, chicken, eggs, or dairy. By ruminant animal meat, if you don't know, I mean animals that eat grass: cows, sheep, goats, bison, that kind of thing. There are always ways around all of these issues. And if we just knew what we're supposed to eat and stayed with it, maybe under the guidance of an expert, we would have the confidence that we were on the right track and not start adding the same plants back that made us sick in the first place, just because of some initial symptoms while the body readjusts. People also often say to me, but we're all different. Now, arguing with that makes you sound like a militant vegan, but not really. Not really, because now we've established we are facultative carnivores. It isn't true as far as diet goes. It doesn't matter what your race, color, creed, or blood type is. If you're human, eat meat. And as few plants as possible. It's true that everybody's healing journey will be different, though, but not their requirement for plants. We even understand more about zoo animals' diets than we do about our own. I mean, if a lion was sick, would the zookeepers feed it more fiber and greens? If a sea lion was sick, would they take away its fish, feed it quinoa, and give it colonics? If a shark was sick, would they put it on a strict vegan diet with lots of spinach smoothies? No. We understand what animals are supposed to eat, but we don't understand what humans are supposed to eat. Why do we do it to ourselves? All of these ridiculous interventions. Sure, there's always somebody's granny who lived reasonably healthily to 95 and ate plants. But would she have lived to 105 without them and had all her teeth and no rickety knee? The truth is, people survive despite plants, not because of them. Some are just more efficient at dealing with the toxins. There are also many stories of reversals of disease on vegan diets, juicing, etc. Sure, sometimes people get results when they cut out the more processed foods, as it's pretty much a fast. But later, when the plant toxins build up and the nutritional deficiencies set in, the original problems usually return along with other issues. We see this time and again. The secret is to cut all the plants, not all the meat. Then there are the people who, despite all the anthropological evidence, always ask for the studies or the science. We seem to have forgotten how to think for ourselves. Well, there's a lot of science if you know where to look. I'll link below to another Dr. Anthony Chaffee podcast, this time with my good friend, Professor Bart, where they go deep into the science behind the carnivore diet and blow up a lot of the myths. Fascinating listening. I'll also link to a list on Zoe Harcombe's website of many, many studies showing how diet science is totally corrupt and that we really are adapted to animal foods. I'll also link to the massive amount of anecdotal evidence of spectacular healing stories on Dr. Shawn Baker's Revero site. They're far too numerous to be discounted as bad evidence now. I'll also look at the great work our good friends Dr. Zofia Clements and Csaba Tot are doing at Paleomedicina in Hungary, curing all sorts of issues on a Paleolithic ketogenic diet, full carnivore, very high fat. As for the ethical and environmental factors, have a quick listen to Ted Nugent summing it up in under a minute on Joe Rogan. I know Ted's not an expert on diet, and everybody says that, but I mean, he's summed it up better than anyone else in under a minute. So have a listen. It's quite funny. He doesn't muck about. Or if you have 15 minutes, listen to the superb presentation by Brian Sanders of Food Lies, just going into the environmental stuff and all sorts. If you have more time, listen to a great interview Ben Hunt and I did recently with Lierre Keith, the author of The Vegetarian Myth. Again, all the links below, everything you need for comprehensive knowledge on this. I know all the above is true from deep experience. I've eaten like this for 7 years now. And if anything the mainstream or the vegans said about diet were true, I'd have been dead a long time ago, especially considering how sick I was when I started eating like this. Actually, instead of that, I've healed from pretty much everything that meat and fat is supposed to cause: metabolic, autoimmune issues, all kinds. There are many interviews of mine online to see more of my story, or get my book, Arthritis, the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, which is available on Amazon. You might be new to this, though, and need confidence. If so, check out all the links above. Join my 100% Carnivore and Beyond group on Facebook, or any of the others, like Shawn's World Carnivore Tribe, zeroing in on health. There's a few out there. Tens of thousands of people on there, and see the healing and weight loss stories for yourself. If you're very sick, especially autoimmune, maybe join my other Facebook group, which is a bit of a mouthful: Rheumatoid and Psoriatic Arthritis, Mitochondrial Health and Carnivory. Maybe grab my online course, Autoimmunity, the Subtraction Method, or even get a personal consult with me to really fast track your healing. It's so rewarding to be able to help clients to heal. All the links to those are also in the show notes below this video. Listen to podcasts and even get consults with the docs who really know their stuff. There are many to choose from these days: Shawn Baker, Anthony Chaffee, Ken Berry, Paul Saladino, Zofia Clements. Get confident. For a really deep dive into all the above, plus many of the other non-diet related ancestral disconnects that keep us sick, consider joining our membership group, The Human Unleashed, where the combined wisdom of my colleagues, Dr. Jeremy Ayres, Graham Norbury, and Ben Hunt, will really give you tons of confidence and insights into what's going on. All of us are also part of the Red Pill Revolution team and co-authors of the Red Pill Revolution and the upcoming sequel, the Red Pill Food Revolution. These go into far more detail about everything mentioned in the video. Links again below. So even if you're not fully carnivore and don't intend to be, this war on meat by the elites needs to be fought. I'm vocal about it because it will leave me nothing to eat if they have their way. And I'll slide back into agonizing autoimmunity, as well as will countless others. If we're forced to eat Bill Gates's idea of food, especially lab-grown cell cultures and the chemical shitstorm that is the Beyond Burger, that killed rats, I believe, in recent studies, experiments. I mean, just look at Bill Gates. He has female pattern fat deposits and actual man boobs. Do you want to look like Bill? Do you want dadderies showing through your shirt and a spare tie around the middle? No, really. So I hope this has given you all the info and further research you need to understand just how serious things could get if we don't realize who the real enemies are and stop fighting amongst ourselves about what we're designed to eat. If they're coming for our food, they're risking not only our health, but that of our children. Psychopaths like Klaus Schwab and Bill, and their nonsense that we will all have to stop eating meat, have crossed the line now. And it's time to let them know that we're not going to comply. Thanks for listening.